One. What's up? Hope everyone's having a great night. I figured I'd just go live. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, I'm a little early. It's okay. Cheers, everyone. I hope you're having a great night. Thank you for joining us. We have a bunch of people with us. Low Cut, Delman, Collectimus, COOT, D Zombie, Cushmaster, T.O., Steelbird. Thank you all for being here. Before we get into things, I wanted to talk about organic growing because I was at an event this past weekend, and this guy was just trying to tell me that super soil isn't it's something different than organic growing, and I'm like, what are you talking about? That does not make sense in any means of the word. Like you're working towards a living soil and making a living soil, and that's what Coots Mix is. It's pretty much just you're making a living soil. But he was saying, since I'm on the East Coast, it's a little bit different of a mix normally.
The only thing I would say with super soil, there's some salts in there.
It's high. It's like a blood meal in it. It's like supposed to be hot.
Right. Yeah, and that's why you cook it. That's why it sits out and you let it sit in a bucket or something or whatever.
So cool.
Or that's what you're supposed to do with it.
What would be the easiest way to start?
Subcool super soil is like a pre-charged soil, which is concentrated.
Right, you take all them concentrates, yeah.
Yeah, and the idea is you put it at the bottom of the pot and you blend sort of the sub used to use Roots Organics, and you'd sort of fluff the super soil in with it to make like a buffer zone. Then it'd plant straight into Roots Organics into the buffer zone into the subcool super soil. That'd be the pot layout from top to bottom. So the idea of the subcool super soil is it's already pre-charged in there, and the root systems grow into it and take the nutrients that are needed. And then afterwards, you throw the whole shit out, and then you got to make a new batch again.
Because you're not going straight in, super soil. Yeah, it's either like the top draft or the bottom.
It's like a Coots mix to mend with shittier stuff, like blood meal and stuff. Like CT's nails it. And CT says Epsom salts is not salts.
Yeah, that's what someone was telling me too. He said it's not actually like a salt.
It's natural. So if you want to get technical with it,
there's water or something.
Epsom salts is mined.
Right, it's magnesium sulfate.
Right, it's a mined salt, if you want to call it a salt.
That's that's a British thing, and that's where that came from. But yes, it is a mined mineral compound, and it's just magnesium and sulfur oxide. It's magnesium sulfate, no big deal. I would argue, well, never mind. That part is important, but that's all it is. It's just magnesium and sulfur, and that sulfur is water soluble, so it breaks away from magnesium as soon as you water the first time. So now you have sulfur isolated, separate from the magnesium, so it's available to the plant's roots, and now the magnesium is unattached now to the sulfur. So it's a good, widely used, but you don't need to high dose it. It's not.
I've written down
or something like that.
Where everything goes into it.
Yeah.
So this is everything goes in this. I got this from Miss Jill. Actually, she had it written down on something. It's a little fucked up looking, but yeah.
See, super soil, it doesn't make any sense because if you're trying to go for a living soil, you're not going to want to throw it away.
Right, that's what I had issue with too. Yeah.
Yep, super soil was never marketed as a living soil, though. It was just marketed as a pre-amended soil, so you don't have to continually top dress and all this stuff. You had everything in the pot, so it was never marketed. Yeah, it was never marketed as a living soil. But you can have a super soil that is organic, and you could technically have a super soil that is not organic. It's
But there's when it comes down to it, there's two types of growing. There's organic and there's salt growing.
There's a lot of nuance in there too. If you want to be general, if you want to generalize it, yeah, you're right. But there is some nuance.
That's kind of, but the nuance is if like, let's say Jordan's just started selling women's shoes, it's a different branch of Jordan, but in its core, it's still organic or salt.
Right. You got Synganic if you want to get there too, but yeah. I get what you're saying.
That's a whole sales pitch, I think. COOT. Synganic.
Synganic.
Well, basically, it's using biology. It's using biology to break down the synthetic salts. It's basically all it is, because biology can break down synthetic salts. It's just that generally speaking, it's self-destructive, and you would have to constantly add more and more biology, because the salt, as the biology is breaking down the salts, it's basically killing itself. So you have to replenish the biology.
That's the only part I was just trying to with the salts and it killing the living organisms that's in there.
Right.
Too much of it will kill it.
Right. But if you talk about like regenerative, then you can't really do a Synganic approach to regenerative, because regenerative means that it self-regenerates. You don't need to add more because
it's already in there. It's a closed loop.
It's already in there. It's as close to closed loop as you can get it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to shoot for, a closed loop system.
What?
You don't have enough land to do a closed loop.
Well, like indoor in my own environment.
As close to closed loop as possible. Yeah.
Right.
I would consider using mycelium in between grows that will break up the roots, and imagine all the nutrients, elements that have been. Hold on one second.
Morgana. Oh.
That
nice.
We're loaded into those roots, ready to be taken up into the plant. So when you use mycelium, you deconstruct all that, releasing those elements back into the soil. And plus, you're going to increase the fungal colonies in general in the soil. So actually, you're going to end up with a better soil than what you started with. And feeding it worm castings. And if you don't have worm castings yet, then the liquid worm castings from a company called Worm Power in upstate New York will do nicely until you get your own worm casting thing going. So you're pretty close to finishing up. If you get, good material to start with, and if you built this soil and you paid attention to the ingredients, it's like preposterous to throw it out that somehow mixing it fresh is going to be better.
Right.
Agreed.
Unless if you're selling soil, it makes sense.
I'm on my 6th run, and
I think
this past run, I think I gave it some nitrogen in the form like fish fertilizer one time.
Right.
My bad. Actually, I've been messing with it 6 years, not 6 runs. I've been playing with the soil for a minute.
Yep.
But I do add stuff to it, so it's not, saying.
Sure.
You got to re-amend every once in a while. We're using small pots. It's not the earth where things are biodegrading around it, no matter where it is. We're concentrating.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The bigger the container used, the less work you'll have in between. So if you get up to, let's say a cubic foot is 200 gallons. Excuse me, a cubic yard is 200 gallons. So let's say 400, that'd be 2 yards. That would be a pallet worth of soil. In that amount, you can approach, you're kind of moving away from artificial soil to a real one. you're better off with 600 or 800, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, you could really get a lot going on with cover crops, companion planting, all kinds of neat shit in a larger plot like that.
Even like
3-minute warning. Sorry.
All right, no, it's okay, D. Even like my small pots, if you start adding, well, we'll say 20 gallons, put worms in them.
Yeah, just put worms in it. Yeah,
said and done. You know, I'm good to go.
Nematodes and stuff after their poop.
You could do that. Yeah, you could. I mean, add more. I mean, I would add more barley and other stuff like that to get my microbe. Like obviously, mycelium's one of the big ones, like old fruiting blocks and stuff.
And not because I have a product out there and I tell people where to go get it cheap, but man, barley, it is so good for our gardens in every stage: veg, flower, re-amending, rebuilding the soil, our worm bins. I mean, it's really, I know the word's often overused, but completely utilitarian. I mean, there's so many uses for it. It's not well, this is just for growing cannabis. There's so much more. It's good for you. I mean, you go look at if you talk to people that work out in gyms and everything, the protein drinks, that protein is barley malt. I mean,
so if you do add like old substrate and all right, here's what I do. I break it up, old substrate, I'll break it up and then I will cover it, not all the way, but a good portion with barley and then water in and you'll see the next day that barley starts getting taken over.
Mycelium and stuff, the sand beard.
And if you flour your barley, it works even faster. It's insane.
I've been giving it to my mealworms that eat it up and break it down, and I get insect rest from it. And sometimes there's some little bits of it too. I'll just dust it with my plants.
It's good for red wiggler worm bins. Any kind of thing that you're doing with worms will benefit from the enzymes. The enzymes are going to help deconstruct the organic matter that the bacteria will consume, and it's their manure that worms, that's all they eat is the manure from bacteria.
And produce you a good healthy bacteria system in the soil, maybe.
Yeah, low cut's one of the only ones that's got like a little bug farm.
Yeah, it's like a little mealworm thing. And that, you know what I'm saying? I just feed them vegetables and whatnot, and like you said, like oats and barley and stuff. Let them eat that up, and then I take the scrapings or the poop from the bottom.
Cheers, everyone.
Yeah. Into my soil.
I have
just insect press, I guess.
Question is, we have mealworms. Because it increases the rate with which the matter is deconstructed, the barley affects that. Therefore, more food means faster reproduction, increased rate of reproduction. So do you find that true with mealworms?
Well, they kind of be triggered by the light and stuff, or the temperatures. If it's too cold, they don't move as much. But if it's nice and warm, they got darkness periods and stuff, then they'll want to like go into that stage of turning into a beetle.
Oh, okay.
And once they become a beetle, they're just gonna run around and eat and reproduce anyways. But I'm not for sure if that's making them reproduce more or not.
Well, it's a completely different organism because worms don't eat anything.
Yeah, they actually physically eat it. Like have you ever watched one of those fucking
these
time
things
lapses?
Are actually, they'll put holes through, like you take a potato and slice it in half, put holes through it.
This is all mealworm poop right here.
Oh wow!
It's like ready to go for throwing
dusty. It gets real dusty.
Pot.
Yeah.
Is that how you use it? You top dress with it, or?
I could top dress it. You can do it with any. Or you can put it in like teas and stuff, or just any way you want to kind of go about it.
Wonder what it'd do in a worm bin.
Yeah, Why not?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, because then the worms could probably break it down further.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to shoot for a smaller microbe for the plant to absorb, and the more you keep working and breaking it down, it gets more smaller and smaller to the microbes.
Right.
There's tons of microbes in a mealworm's gut, I'm sure.
Well I mean,
Absolutely.
not the microbes, but the.
This is one of the.
But
Oh, gross.
Watch this though. Watch how fast they eat. Like it's.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Mealworms are crazy.
It's like
these motherfuckers are crazy. When they go in the larvae stage and stuff, they turn they slowly turn into those beetles. Yeah. But I mean, they'll break down food crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'll put like carrots. I mean, I just give them vegetables and grains and stuff. But yeah, they'll fucking chew that shit up real quick.
The frass is about a 3.22 in PK, so it's very good all around.
Right, not too high, but just kind of mid section.
These are those strawberries. Hour 1, 2.
They even got super mealworms, and those are bigger, and then the beetles are even bigger.
Like that's they're devouring it. That's the word I was looking for.
That's what I like about them, and then you can use all that poop for your plants because they break that shit down.
You harvest it.
Yeah.
Black soldier fly do it even faster than the mealworm.
Well, the reason why I had the mealworms is because I had lizards, and I was feeding the lizard to the I was giving the lizard the mealworms, and then I don't have the lizards no more, and I was like, well, I need to find a use for it. And I was like, well, shit, I can get to my plants.
So how do you harvest the manure from the worms?
It's more or less just on the bottom. I just kind of scrape it up.
Okay.
I guess I could use like a filter or something, but
I think you do a bedding, technically with any living creature, it's like a bedding, you just clean the bedding out.
And then they'll break down all the oats, and then if you keep letting them break it down, they're basically just moving around in their poop at the end of it. You let them keep breaking that down even further, you know what I'm saying? And then it gets even more.
Right.
That's interesting.
That might be good for orchids because it's more finer than trying to deal with worm castings per se.
Yeah, worm casting is a little fatter. Yeah,
and it's harder to harvest. If you let them
sit in their poop, they can break it down further too, I guess. But
I would think worm castings are harder to harvest.
Oh, by far. Jeez Louise. That's always what do you call it? The stumbling block for. Well, first getting even involved in wanting to do worm bins, and then comes harvesting the damn things.
People think leachate is good.
No.
I hear it the other day. He's like, I got a spout on the bottom of my worm bin. I'm like, wait, you shouldn't have water coming out of your worm bin, bro.
That's right. And if you do, then it's set up wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Worms breathe through their skin. There's too much water, they leave. You know what I mean? Or you'll find them on the walls because they're trying to get away. They got to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So you want...
That's just bedding, COOT.
Here's how wet you want it. Let's say you use a manure, aged manure, and it's hydrated. You want to be able to pick it up in your hand and make the strongest fist that you can. And you don't want even a drop coming out. But when you open up your hand, you want it stuck together. Okay, that's ideal bedding hydration level. And to that extent, if you keep it at that within the right temperature range, you'll be successful. Now there are ways.
Little guy. Oh, that creeps me out. Sorry.
The nature ones, they got little stingers on the back of them. They kind of like pinch you. But since I've been farming them, they don't have it no more.
Oh, that's cool. Sorry, COOT. It was squirming in his hand and stuff. It looked creepy.
Is that the size they get?
Yeah, basically that's about as big as they get, and then after that, then I'm trying to find you one that's turning.
It's what?
Starting to transition to a beetle.
Yeah, he's in the larvae state.
Right.
Because he had a beetle. He pulled out a full grown.
Here, I can pull out another beetle.
I wonder if they cocoon like worms.
Oh wow! Now, what do they eat?
They'll eat the same stuff.
Okay.
Just whatever I give them, like carrots or vegetables or grains.
Gotcha.
They start off kind of a little brownish when they first do this, and then they go black, and that's kind of a mature stage.
And do they die after they breed?
Yeah, they die off after a while. They'll get vicious. They'll chew on each other too.
Wow.
If I don't feed them, you know what I'm saying? If I'm just like make them survive.
Right.
You should start doing roly-polies too.
Yeah. But isopods, don't do the gray ones. The gray ones will get out of control.
There's a guy hustling isopods for like a ton of money. I can't remember the name of the fucking website, but like he's got a bunch
Rubber Ducky.
He's got a bunch of fancy like isopods.
Brian, the Brian Marco.
Talk about Rubber Ducky isopods.
Yeah.
One in here. Oh well.
Rubber Ducky ISOs.
Yeah, Rubber Ducky ISOs.
I didn't know there was such a thing as special roly-poly bugs.
Yeah, dude.
It's
different.
Basically, they're isopods, but they breed much slower, so you can actually control because if you get like the run-of-the-mill grays that you get in a garden,
yeah,
they'll take over your garden bed. They'll wind up eating your plants, eating your roots. The designer ones breed much slower, and you can control the population much better.
So what it is, it's pretty much a hybrid of a bunch of different species, like normal breeding. I can't remember the fucking guy's name, but there's a guy hustling them for a ton of money.
He wants too much money for them, yeah. But is it him, or is that the industry standard prices? Is the question.
I don't think so. Not for bugs.
Shit, those mealworms I showed you, I've probably been breeding those or had it since I was like 16 or something. I'm like 32 now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on their like 16th generation.
Yeah.
So like mad inbreed.
That's weird that the stingers went away.
Well, I think they're just valuable at stores and stuff. But I think the natural ones have those little stingers. But yeah, those ones, I think they've been bred out.
Yeah, it could be a different subspecies.
Or something.
That specific subspecies doesn't have stingers.
So you also get the chitin in bugs.
For sure.
It's a really good, I love adding it, like COOT said, good worm castings or worm power. I use both of them. Why not?
The chitin is in their pieces, which will often be
shell.
Yeah. But they die off after they breed, so they're in the bedding.
Yeah.
Dead bugs.
Don't they molt too?
Yeah.
I don't know if all bugs molt, but I know some of them do.
And you can get fermented frass where they lacto ferment it. And
that doesn't.
It's terrible. It will stink up your bathroom for a good hour.
What?
Those mealworms, they'll shed their skin too. So you'll see like pieces of their skin where they molt it out of.
I feel like just adding it to soil. I mean, if you think about it, there's living and dying bugs in a soil anyways, so why not?
Just the earth, period. Just the ground. That's what I was saying. Like, it's a big percentage just bugs that died.
How'd your outdoor go? Smashed? What was the final verdict on that?
Yeah,
You pull anything down? Make some wash?
No, I had a huge bonfire.
I gotta make me something like that desert, where I got that little end piece for my joints.
Hey, Desert, cool. We're live. We're live on YouTube.
Did I not change the name of the room again? Sorry, I get too stoned.
Well, don't it have it where it says live on it?
Is it? D usually is on top of it for me because he's good.
Thumbs up, Egan Harris. All right, good.
Oh, you were talking about something earlier before you left. You wouldn't use, I can't remember what, on the East Coast you would use something else in your soil. What was it? But granite.
Oh yeah, we were talking about basalt is what I use because this is where volcanoes, the youngest ones, are located in North America along the Ring of Fire. Starts in Canada, goes down to Northern California. So a lot of basalt and pumice. But on the East Coast, which state is the granite state? Is that New Hampshire? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So anyway, granite is formed by the earth forces, and I'm not a geologist, I couldn't explain it, but it's made from basalt. And basalt and granite are interchangeable in terms of quality, benefit. Those are the two best rock dust are basalt and granite. So I don't know what industries would be there in New England, but something to do with shaping or grinding granite to whatever specification, those kind of places, they have to pay to have it hauled away. It's trash.
So I have a company that does like all the landscaping rock and stuff.
There you go. And then just add that to your soil, because that's what soil is. At the end of the day, after everything's said and done, a botanist would tell you that soil is simply shattered rock and decomposed plant and animals.
Right.
And the shattered rock came from lichen. You've seen lichen growing on rocks up in when you hike maybe, and okay, well that over billions of years shattered.
That's just silica, right?
I was to say now we're starting to talk about silicas.
The what?
No,
doesn't I might be off too. I thought
but you're talking about sand and stuff, right?
Within the rocks, like sand gets caught and stuff. I'm trying to remember. Steelbird would know better than I would. I thought it was I can't remember. Fuck, man.
I thought I was there with it too.
Lichen, which is a combination of fungi and bacteria that you find on wood, on trees, on rocks, and lichen pulls off minute amount and rock dust, if you will, and over billions and billions and billions of years, soil was formed. And so to make if we're going to make artificial soils, at a minimum, we need decomposed animal and or plant material in the form of compost, hopefully, not roadkill like certain products. And rock dust.
Don't let that put you away. If an animal dies, put it in a garden, wait a couple of years, then start planting in it.
Yeah. So anyway, like all the ones that are in an ITE, azomite, bentonite, zeolite, those are all alumina silica compounds. Do you really want to add aluminum to your soil? These are clays that are used in, okay, if you went into a supplier in New England and said, I own an automobile. Oh, you used to work in a shop, I'm sure. He said you were around cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know that stuff that you spread on the floor if there's an oil spill?
Yeah.
Well, that's bentonite.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, cheap
make you feel
places would
better?
just buy kitty litter.
I was to say, I was picturing kitty litter.
It's kind of like kitty litter though. There's two different types. Some cheap people will buy the kitty litter, and other places will really buy like the oil stuff, like special stuff to like sop up oil.
Wait, they mine that stuff here in Oregon in a place. It's it was a real estate scam, but it's called Christmas Valley, and it has nothing to do with Christmas or desert, man. And that's where they mine the kitty litter. Yeah, I mean truckloads every day, going to grocery store distribution and Home Depot distribution centers, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Most kitty litter is like a clay. Right? Yeah.
It's a clay. Why would you want to add clay to a soil? Think about that for a minute. What happens when you get clay wet?
It sticks.
And it hardens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sticks together and hardens.
Hard, muddy, or whatever. Yeah.
So why would you want that in your soil?
It's gonna make it anaerobic or something, maybe too.
Yeah. So by basalt and or granite, these two are paramagnetic. They carry a very strong negative charge, holding on to ions, which carry obviously a positive charge as opposed to anions, which it gives way to the whole discussion about cation exchange and the calling up of specific ions via root exudes that call up what's needed by the plant, not according to the guy in the store that sold you, whatever.
I'm trying to think. Oh, what do you think about wood? Like I've always heard if you like bury a log in a garden, let it start decomposing, fungus,
cedar,
like
maybe
mycelium would start growing on it and stuff.
Yeah, it will. Yes, but just be careful. You don't want to be working with conifers because of the oils, turpentine, and what have you that they produce.
Hardwoods like oak and stuff you want to use, I heard.
Yeah, and if you want to get more into it, the German, where it was developed by, I think, the biodynamic crowd, hugelkultur, and the culture is spelled with a K, and it's Hugel, hugelkultur, and that's covering the garden with wood chips. And it's a whole process again because those are fungal foods. So you're attracting fungal colonies into your garden. I mean, bacteria is really easy, right? I mean, when you were a little kid and you skinned your knee, if you didn't have your mom put some some kind of dressing on it,
Neosporin or something.
get infected, right? Because that's how bacteria is just like there you are. To develop fungal colonies in a soil, that's why it's called soil building. You add fungal foods, and it might take a year, it might take 2 years, but it's progress. It's all about progress, not trying to get instant perfection
results. Right? Yeah. Yeah, because with that Hooger or that what you were saying, that probably takes a minute for that to actually.
I was really thinking about
going.
Yes, it does, but it also acts as a good mulch, reducing evaporation from when you water the garden.
Good sponge.
That's another big benefit there, especially with most of the world having water shortages.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I want to get a pretty big log, bury it where I usually don't plant, like halfway. And then next year when we start getting into summer, I want to drill some holes in it and put some spore plugs in it to get mushrooms off of it.
Apple's good for that. Apple. I know you got a lot of apples in New England. With some of the growing associations, because they do cull trees after so many years of protection. They're retired or whatever. check on that. You might get some that are maybe even, what do you call it? Have begun to decompose.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like
Yeah,
you'd get the
you never know.
benefit of both, like it breaking down on the bottom side, and then the top side, you're actively
Right.
inoculating it with microbes or mycelium every year. Sorry.
Yeah.
This pit I made outside, I've dug a big ass hole,
I feel by
and
the
I've made it
time,
grass and wood over time.
yeah, I feel by the time like you're done putting like those plugs in, you can just like chop it up and cover your garden with it.
I've had it where it holds water there too, so I can collect the rainwater from it.
I honestly feel you should really be looking into grain culture for that, for a more immediate. If you're trying to build your soil, think about grain cultures. They're easy to do, and then you spread that mycelium on top of your soil and some straw and cover. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that get the mycelium thing going in a matter of a few days.
Like
Seriously.
lasagna tech.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I could do both.
Is good. It just considered that's long term.
Yeah. I was doing outdoors too,
Getting
not
things up
indoors,
and running
obviously.
now, which will speed up the decomposition of the tree. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
And the more fungal colonies you have in your soil, the better off you are, because it's able to handle a wider variety of materials that you might consider using. That's all.
What's up, Fumi? I cannot hear you if you are talking. I'm gonna pack a bowl of COOT. What are you smoking, Pacalolo or just Tio?
Oh yeah, outdoor Pacalolo from last summer.
Oh, nice.
Not, I mean the year before. Excuse me.
You had some Agnes recently, right?
Yeah.
Some of the Agnes cut.
That's gonna be those seeds, the Pacalolo crossed with the Agnes by mistake, are going to be outrageous.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, aren't you still working on like a breeding project or something, Coot? You had some males you was gonna give to somebody or use or something as for pollen.
He said he's looking for a female right now of Pacalolo.
Are you looking for something to breed it with?
No, we're just, the Pacalolo was kind of like mine, very old. All of the original seeds date back to the early mid 70s. So, they never got to Holland, thank God. And yeah, it's just different, There's not everything.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's something. Yeah.
Northern Lights, song number one.
Hey, you want to know something so funny? I have Northern Lights, the skunk #1 seeds. Shout out High Desert.
As I say, yeah, I got High Desert seeds.
I
not for sure when, but yeah.
No, actually, no, I want to get these out because these are really special. These are for really big plants. I want to make that clear. These aren't. Ask Smash about his experiences just with seedlings.
Yeah, they're going. As soon as I uppotted them, they started to take off, and I know as soon as I uppot them again, they're still going to do the same thing.
Yeah, but talk about the stalks.
Oh, they're huge. They're hard to train. Yeah, already.
Are they like that thick?
Yeah, they're thicker than normal. One of them's way thicker. It's got to trifoliate, so it's got 3 branches on each. Actually, I have a picture. Hold on.
It's cool to run into stuff like that. Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, it usually grows out of it. This one is not growing out of it."
Huh. It's a true one
then.
It's a massive yielder, indoor and outdoor.
So this one right here is trifoliate. It's so many leaves and so many layers to it. This is the bigger one. It's just kind of normal. I think it probably looks more like TO.
Yeah.
I've had it where sometimes the
this
stem
one
almost looks flat.
is crazy.
Wow, those are gorgeous, man.
Yeah, it's got nice. 3 at each node, and I thought it would grow out of it, but it's not. It's staying, so I feel like it's going to be a massive producer too.
Notes look pretty tight, yeah.
And you won't be. It won't take 20 bamboo sticks to hold a bitch up either.
Fumi, did you get your mic working?
I've been seeing where people take strings from the ceiling and tie it that way. It holds them.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, right on. Cheers, guys. I'd come by and say hey. Come by and say hey.
Can you shout out the Autoflower Desk Grow Off email, please?
Yeah, deskautoflower@chronictable.com. Anybody who still hasn't sent me their info, please hurry up and do so. Deskautoflower at deskautoflower@chronictable.com. So I've been thinking about for like the last hour trying to find a way to do HD on the streams. And I thought all this time, like, oh, if I just update my camera and whatever else. Turns out it wasn't the camera. I mean, how do I say it? It was the camera because on my computer it only goes to 720. But I connected my GoPro one time. I connected, I think, my iPhone one time, and I connected my real camera the other day. And my real camera can output way more than just 1080, but it was outputting for sure dead ass in 1080 because there's a setting, right? And for some reason, the goddamn stream was still in 720. Well, sure enough, freaking Zoom basically defaults to 720. I don't think there's actually a way to get 1080. I think there used to be, but not anymore. And now I'm looking at all the other stream options, and like, there's hardly any stream options. The only options are basically $40 a month or $80 a month, and then we could go 1080. But the $40 one, we could only have like 4 people on the screen, and the $80 one, I'm not even sure. That's just too much money to fucking spend on my show. But yeah, it's been annoying me. Sorry, go ahead.
So I use Streamlabs right now.
What's that duck one?
I think it can. I think it has a paid version. I haven't there's OBS too.
I was looking at the paid version, and I think even that one, I think Streamlabs, there is a version that gives me. Oh shit!
Sorry,
I don't even know the price right now. Yeah, I just abruptly changed the subject, but it is fucking annoying. Hold on. So what are you outputting right now?
Hold on a few days.
HD?
Hold on a few days because Mac OS Ventura is going to be released. And there will be an update to iOS 16 for your phone. And you'll be able to use your phone as a camera for your Zoom calls or Skype and all the other. Instead of having to buy expensive cameras and all that, you can do it right through your phone.
No, you're at
not your cellular.
Same problem.
Yeah, I think it's a setting.
Oh, he's at 720. Yeah, it's not the camera in this case. So, for example, I was using my mirrorless, basically my Canon the other day. Nothing to do with not having an adequate signal or anything else. What was I going to say? The software literally has been bottlenecked to like 720p, which is annoying because that's one of the reasons of many reasons why some of our channels grow so fucking slowly. My channel, Eagle's channel, the Grow with your fellow whatever grower channels, all those channels basically grow quite slowly. One of the many reasons why is that YouTube dramatically prioritizes 4K. Even though the majority of output is actually 1080p, and a lot of creators have actually downgraded to 1080p, YouTube prioritizes to this day 4K. And so if you don't have an HD signal, if you don't even have regular HD, much less 4K, YouTube basically sets you on the back burner. And it's real annoying though, because I don't want to spend, a ton of money just to have YouTube, push me a little tiny bit, you know what I mean? But I don't know, this is inside baseball, I guess, in the extreme, but still, it is. I know Smash has been trying to go HD for the longest time. I definitely have been trying. It's fucking infuriating. So
it's a fucking pain in the ass. I think I might. I'm looking at settings right now. You can leave the base canvas resolution as 920 by 1080, since in most cases, and then it will start streaming at 1080p, and this is Streamlabs. So I'm gonna play with it a little bit later and see if I can do that.
A little bit more. I mean, Streamlabs definitely has a paid version. It's not even that bad. They're really kind of scammy about the fact they don't really tell you what the price is, but I think it's only. Oh shit! Here, I just googled it. It was like.
I think Michigan Bros uses OBS, to be honest.
OBS is the open source version. Honestly, you know what? There might be an option there. I guess it's just a little bit less polished. So I frankly have to look into that a little bit. Maybe if put it this way, if Streamlabs can do it, Streamlabs is built over top of OBS. It's basically a skin on OBS, basically, and they provide you some extra services on top of that. They do tipping and all that kind of stuff. So in theory, if, like I say, Streamlabs can do it, OBS should probably do it too. So I should look into that.
Hold on.
Hey, Fume, Delman, earlier this evening showed a seedling tray like I've never seen.
Oh yeah.
And it's called Easy Grow. They're at Amazon, and they've got 2 or 3 models you can look at. Exceptionally well built, really good reviews, blah blah blah. Well worth checking out if because you can make them higher. You could do seedlings in them, not just for cloning. Anyway, it's called Easy Grow is the name.
So Fumi, I'm looking at my settings, and then there's they say you can set this base setting as it was set at 720, but you can change it. So maybe next time I try streaming, I'll go in there and make sure it's at 1080 and see if it works.
That could be deceptive. That's the thing. That could be deceptive too, because technically Zoom has an HD button, but it means nothing. It basically, I've had it set for the longest time. It does nothing. I'm not disbelieving, but I will believe it when I see it. That would be cool if it did work.
Output scaled resolution, base canvas resolution, downloaded filter, FPS, common FPS. Maybe it will work. I'll try it after.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks everyone for hanging out.
Grow, oh, sorry. Is it the Easy Grow seedling tray? I'm looking at it, and of course, Amazon always outputs the first 37 options as some random Chinese stuff.
It's the one that
no,
stacks
for real,
up.
The search engine on Amazon is so awful. It takes so long to find anything these days. Even when you search for a specific brand, like I'll search for, well, for example, I was trying to search for the AC Infinity clone dome, basically. I can't even remember, a humidity dome, I think they call it. It took me literally like 4 searches to actually find the AC, and mind you, it's sold on Amazon, by Amazon and everything. Freaking AC Infinity clone dome or whatever. That one's kind of annoying because it comes with the heat mat, so they end up charging you like $50, and I have no use for a heat mat to spend $50.
Never.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you lived in Alaska, you might use a heat mat, but still.
Well, if you're going to use them,
in the dead of winter,
at least get some strips of wood about the height of a number 2 pencil. Just don't have the tray sitting on the mat. And you'll be, because I mean, you can imagine how inaccurate the thermostats are in them. So it's not uncommon to fry the shit out of your seedlings.
So I use the ones that have a manual dial on it, and I won't let it, if it, like, I'll use my hand kind of as the thermostat, like just mildly like warm my hand. And I only use it in the dead of winter.
Well, yeah, but there's a myth that floats around that more heat means faster roots, and nothing could be further from the truth.
Okay.
It's just not true.
I've never.
You want it 70, think 70.
70 to 75 is when I have most of my success.
There you go. Right. Just like worm bins, that's your sweet spot. low to mid 70s, maybe 7. Let's go 72 to 77. How's that?
It's so Fumi, the one he was showing, type stackable seed tray.
Yeah,
it's got clips and stuff. You can you can go as
you
high as the fuck you want. You can make
like 8-inch high plants in there.
Yeah. I got 3 stacks, and I can get exactly 8-inch high plants on a 3 stack, and you can go as high as you want.
You use the term, I forgot it now. When you get a plant from somebody and you want it in isolation.
Clone, and I put it on the quarantine.
Quarantine. Yeah, so you have your really nice quarantine setup without having to reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm. What's it called, Delman?
It is. Hold on, I put it in the in YouTube chat. The exact name. God, you guys have put a lot of stuff in the YouTube chat.
It's funny, when I was searching for that, I got the same brand. When I was searching for it, they were trying to sell me stuff for growing mushrooms. So I guess people buy that.
Right.
That would be
here it is. The early grow propagator. I got the 24-inch by 15-inch dome propagator by Early Grow.
Yeah, anybody in those clone domes? Yeah, that one's the shit. Check that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's a lot cheaper than the stuff sold to the mushroom crowd.
Mm-hmm.
My God, that would be at least $100.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
damn.
you could do
All day long.
Mm-hmm. I'll post
the height of it too, if you need to.
Yeah, I'll put another in this, a picture of it in this chat.
Where are you mounting the computer fan? On the top to pull it out, or you put it in the side to blow through?
I didn't do it. I know somebody that has done it. They put it on the side to pull through.
Okay. Thank you.
You get a little 4-inch, not a 4-inch. You get like a little computer fan, 2-inch computer fan, and you just stick it on you pop out one of those vents. You stick it right there, and you just pull air through.
They make like 2-inch little fans for like Xboxes and shit.
Sure. Yeah, I have one in that little fucking thing that
would be
it's
perfect.
Variable speeds and everything.
Get some hot glue, stick on the side of it.
Your big issue with mushrooms is fresh air, and because they're like us, they breathe in oxygen, expel CO2, and they don't do well in a closed system like that. I mean, you got to take into account the air movements critical, and I could see putting one reverse on top, so it's
you can put it anywhere.
Yeah. Wow. I have to rethink this. Thank you very much. That's really slick.
No problem. Yeah, I found this thing about 2 years ago. I purchased one, then I purchased the second one, and I just love it.
I just love it.
You found it on a site?
I found it on Amazon.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
the Early Grow.
Sell it, yeah. What'd you think about that brush, Desert? You like? I was looking at those too.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. That's the exact one I got. I wouldn't buy the clips. Like, the clips aren't necessary.
You can just get those at dollar store.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy the clip. They're not necessary. The two. Now, I have 2 of them. They say that the clips come with it, but they don't come with it. They're extra. You know,
made in the UK. UV protected.
And they are heavy. They are heavy duty.
Heavy duty. They look like something that would last you years if you took care of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, my first one I bought in 2019. Still rocking, and the second one I bought a few years like last year.
Oh yeah, AC
and
Infinity makes good computer fans.
Yeah, they do. AC Infinity makes really good electronic fans.
If you know anything about like the gaming sector of PC fans, are a dime a dozen. You can get them anywhere pretty much nowadays.
Anywhere, right?
But depending on which one you want, like they have like normal PC fans, and then they have variable speed PC fans. I use variable speed. Just I like them.
I wonder if they make those fans for like a high humidity location, like if they're like, because if you're doing propagation now with the humidity from the inside the dome mess with the fan.
What's up, Charlie?
But
I didn't even
like
see
you said, and like you said, it's they're a dime a dozen. So do you really, if it goes out, $5, get you another one? But I don't know. It's just something to think about. I might be overthinking it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm known to overthink shit.
Oh, I've been there.
But I mean, it's a good idea, especially here. Like Charlie can, like in the winter when we're using our heat, or probably Portland too. When you guys are using your heat, the humidity in the house is so fucking low. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a fact. Dry air's coming in. It came in early this year. Even though we got rain today, it's going to be dry as hell starting tomorrow. All that cold air is coming down from up north. Because they're starting having that first cold spell. It's going to be dry as hell. I mean, that's when you got to be careful about drying your plants, man. You got to really keep an eye on them. And I don't like adding humidity, but just make sure that I just take them at least. I mean, it depends upon how big the buds are and the strains and everything. But I'll jar them up a little bit early and start regulating them that way. So I don't want them to dry too fast. Period. It'll ruin it. Just ruin your crop. All that hard work just goes down the drain.
Oh yeah, you don't want to dry too fast. Yeah.
I'm drying right now.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest mistakes some people make.
Shit, we had it was cool that we had a drought here in October, and I was like, cool, it's not gonna rain on my outdoor plants, but it's probably bad overall, just not having that much rain.
I mean, in general sense, the climate, around your area, but I mean, for weed, man, you kidding me? They love it. The drier, the better, especially later in the season.
I was like, yeah, rain.
Yeah. Nice windy days. Dry, windy days, they just love it. You worry so much about the botrytis, but of course, we're getting the rain late in the season this year. We already had a frost, if I'm not mistaken. We had our first frost almost 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago almost.
Yeah, we got our first snow here. We got our first.
I heard about that.
That's when you said that. I was like, freaking snow.
Yeah, all the northern states did. I heard on the higher elevations anyway.
Yeah, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, parts of Ohio.
That's that cold air that's coming our way right now, actually. Where it's coming from the lakes and everything below the Midwest, upper Midwest, I should say.
Northern goes snow already.
Who?
Oh, UD? And don't you guys already have 5 feet?
I don't know what just happened. Your mic just shit the bed, D.
Yeah, it did.
What? D just shit his bed? What?
So, yeah, it's been fucking
Again?
cold. It's been cold natural here, and it's kind of crazy. So I'm trying to keep it up, like downstairs. I don't want to add the heater in yet, so I'm drying right now because if I don't. The heat hasn't been on too much, so I'm sitting at like 58%, and I'm hoping I can get 2 weeks out of this.
Yeah, that's not bad. 58% at the end.
Oh, I'm drying with 65 and 58.
Okay. I see it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey, Smash, I got a question about LEDs.
Yes.
So should I expect to see a massive increase in trichome production?
I would think so. I think it's a better light overall.
I wouldn't say massive, but you should see a difference. Depending upon the strain, obviously. But
yes, very true.
You will see a diff. I've used them once, COOT, just my experience. I mean, I know everybody's got way more experience with LEDs than I am, but I did notice that they finished a little quicker. They got definitely tighter stacking. I got a better terpene profile and slightly stronger, and I definitely got slightly higher production on the trichomes.
I feel like I lose nitrogen faster under LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
really it's kind fast. I'm like, God damn, slow down.
The thing with LEDs is,
I've been adding barley every week.
Yeah, the thing with LEDs is you can get them way closer to the plant than like you could a general HPS or really hot light bulb. You know, I've ran my LEDs right at 11 inches from the plant, and it didn't burn it.
How intense though?
That was probably over 1,000 ppm or whatever they do it in, right?
I mean, you had it on rock and roll.
I did. I was adding barley every week too, man.
No shit. You didn't have any bleaching of the leaves?
No, nope, not with the apple fritter at least.
I've noticed.
Well, I guess COOT, you also have one of those kind of LED strip lights, so instead of like cobs, because the cobs, you can't really get that close because you just burn the absolute ever-loving shit out of the plants. But the strip lights where the LEDs are more distributed, the quantum board style or the multiple arm board style now that a lot of companies have, those you can get pretty close. Like maybe not 100%. You know, if you turn it down to like half, 50%, you can get to like 6 inches away from the plant. But like a foot away from the plant, it's not that big of a deal anymore. But yeah, with the old cob style, you totally bleach the tips basically of the plant.
Oh yeah, the old LED. So the cob. Well, let's just describe it real quick. The cob style of LED is basically a bunch of little diodes, like really, really, really close together with.
Yeah, pretty common if you have like well, I guess people probably don't have video lights and stuff, but these days video lights and so on, they pretty much all use, I guess, what we would call cobs. I think they're actually printed integral boards, but they're basically like cobs. They're a little circuit of LED lights.
Right. Okay, thank you. I will turn it up. I did. I took the suggestion from our good friend Atomic, who told me that he listened to others about the 11-13 cycle. So I did change my settings the other day to that. 11 hours on, 13 hours.
I do that too. So, but I'm more of a weirdo with it. Like when I'm in, I'll start at 18 and generally start dropping down to fucking. I'll start at 18, I'll go to 16, 14, 12, and then I'll drop to 11 for the last couple of weeks. I don't know. I'm a little weird with it, but I do pretty much use that little bit of more sleep for the plants. It seems to help make them faster, like finish faster.
17-7 for veg and 11-13.
I found your plants really start transitioning around 14 hours of light.
Agreed.
What do you mean?
Like when I'm dropping the lights down, they'll start like going into flower around 14 hours.
Okay.
It's you really anytime you see a below 15-hour mark, below the 15-hour mark is when the hormones start to change.
Okay.
That's a normal setting anyways, where I live at, probably roughly 14, like that.
So what's your opinion, Lo, on the 11 hours on, 13 hours off?
It helps the plant. It forces the plant to finish itself.
It's like, oh shit, I need to hurry up and
I need to hurry up.
Okay. That makes sense.
Now the quality, I can't speak at the quality, but it does. The plants do like kick into overdrive. Like, holy crap, winter's almost here. I need to finish up.
Yep, that makes sense. Thank you.
You get a quicker initiation of flower too, COOT.
Right.
I mean, I've done 11, 13 for years, and
Start them off 12.
occasionally on a couple other spots I did 12 and 12 just by accident, but I always found that the 11, 13, you're gonna get a quicker, onset.
I like when.
Yeah, I'm real pleased.
I like when you start like
It'll be a nice yield.
13, move to 12, and then move to 11. It seems the plant really does like finish faster when you're actually dropping. Like naturally, the light would drop off every day, you know.
After a couple months or whatever, it shifts. Yeah, slowly starts getting more darker earlier.
It's like a couple minutes every day. We'll hit like peak light at 15 hours, and then it'll start dropping down.
I'm really happy with the trichome deal. I know the strain like in and out at this point. I know exactly what it's supposed to look like. And when it doesn't, when it looks different, there's, you look for a reason. And the only one I can think of is the light.
Some type of input, yeah, that's been changed.
Yeah.
Of a big nature,
Environment's key for sure. So yeah, I mean.
Well, these lights put out. They're a little bit stronger than the HPSs altogether.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
what temperatures are you running, COOT?
By not having to put in exhaustive cooling, apparatus, if you subtract that from the price of the LED, they're a damn good bargain. When you think of, I look at the savings in terms of electrical cost, over how long they last.
You don't have to replace bulbs either.
That's what I mean. That too. You're right. That's what I meant. Yeah, you're not, depending on who you talk to, how often are we supposed to change your bulbs? So
even the rays that come off of the bulb.
In some cases, the LED lights are waterproof. Sorry to talk over you, low cut. But
yeah.
I say like you don't get that with an HPS. Go back to you, low cut.
Right.
You go ahead.
Yeah,
they're pretty.
When I ran the 1,000-watt equivalent LEDs, whatever the hell they were, I couldn't tell you. I had heat problems. I mean, I had to deal with the heat, just like as if it was an HPS. I mean, it probably didn't get up to the same exact, but there was definitely a heat problem I had to deal with.
So running
or an issue, not a problem, an issue that I had.
An LED, depending on how big of an area, an LED should operating temperature about 120. These light bulbs are about 120, like highest point if you're running peak power.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't mean if you run 80%, it might be 90 degrees, But
sure.
If you read the high out or the output, it says running temperature 120 most of the time.
Okay.
With the HPS, like you can't touch that light bulb. I burnt myself on it.
I wouldn't even get that close to it.
Yeah.
I've never burnt myself on the LEDs.
Let alone even look at it.
Yeah, all I gotta say is if you ever had an easy bake oven, if your sister's ever had an easy bake oven, it's like if a fucking incandescent light bulb could cook a cake, imagine what a 1,000-watt light bulb could do.
I have one of the
it's kind of. I mean, it's a. Oh, go ahead, Smash.
Oh, real quick before. So do you guys remember, like when I was a kid, they had like this molten metal one, like that they did for like boys, and you could make like metal necklaces with like steel BBs and stuff, and it had like a little. It was so dangerous, man.
The only thing I had was where you can make your own gummies or something. Like you make a spider gummy or something.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah. What do you call it? I know
Back in the day, you would take the pouches, mix it up, or whatever, and.
Okay, I got a question. So, I know that you can buy gummy bear molds. Fair enough. So I'm going to take some kind of material and I'm going to add some kind of extract and then pour that into the mold. Is that the basic concept here?
Or for the gummy, yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, basic.
It was called the Die-Cast Factory.
Right. I mean,
that was my shit when I was a kid. I was so off that.
You're mixing some stuff and pouring it into a mold.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a silicone mold.
Right.
Yeah.
Making shit like that.
Well, I mean, the little ones, aren't they like the German ones, the gummy bears? No?
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, it's a pain in the fucking ass.
That's actually the one I had, this one right here.
The gummy bear
Thank
molds.
you very much, Dale. You're a good man. You saved me twice today.
Yeah, the gummy bear molds are a pain in the. Yeah, they're a pain in. Yeah.
Yeah, see, COOT,
And it
these
doesn't always
are
come
the
out.
molds.
Yeah.
Sometimes you end up with gummy bears that aren't really gummy bears. They just turn to fucking liquid again, or there's some really weird hard thing, or there's all kind of bad texture. You know, it's hard to nail it.
Even in the world of candy gummy bears, there's good ones, and then there's other ones that aren't as good. How about that?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I live not too far away from 2 gummy bear factories. I know I buy the Oops all the time.
Yeah.
Don't they make that from bone marrow though? It comes from like animal
Isn't
bones
that
or
what
something?
Jello's made out of?
That's gelatin. Yeah, gelatin is the fat that you render off of hide and
Jello's
bone.
so good,
Yeah.
D. Why are you shaking your head? I'll eat
You
Jello
really don't
any
want to
fucking
know.
day.
You really don't want to know what.
Don't ask.
It's clarified
What's
bone,
that?
pig bone marrow.
What about pudding?
Comes from.
Oh, that's
You
milk
really,
and egg.
yeah, you really don't want to know some of the shit.
And then they do some weird shit that they call pudding that God knows what it is.
I used to make pistachio pudding.
Yeah.
Sounds weird.
Mm-hmm.
Go some pudding pop.
Fire.
Pudding pops. Yeah.
Pudding
You know what? It's like, are you thinking about making gummies there, Coot?
Oh yeah, CTC's right about it. So like when you're making gummies and stuff, the heat changes. Like there's it's called like a candy thermometer, and it will tell you how hard the candy's gonna be, by the degrees. It's pretty cool.
Just like regular candy.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, turn it into rubber or something.
Yeah, there's so for like gummies you do lower temperatures. For hard candies you do higher temperatures.
Yeah.
Oh, is that one of them, Delman? Hold on.
Yeah. Candy
There.
thermometer.
Yeah.
That is.
Huh.
Each one, you get your hard ball, hard. You got your soft crack. You got your soft crack, your hard crack. That's different. Yeah, that's for your different. If you're doing like.
You can answer a question
melts.
for me, Dale.
Sure. What's up?
I read in an obscure book that in some parts of the world, kelp meal is used to filter the wort to clarify it.
Yeah, it's a clarifier.
Really?
It's a different type of kelp. It's not the kelp that we use in.
It's red kelp, isn't it?
Yeah, it's red kelp. Red kelp is used as a clarifier.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Completely different. There's 3 marine algae: red, green, and brown. The one we use in our gardens is brown.
What's the green one? Anything used for it with it?
Or even what's the red one? Why is it turning red?
No, it's 3 different.
It's just a species. It's not. It's red kelp. It's like more like a. It's used in making ice cream. It's used in clarifying. Clarifying things. It's. I forgot the exact properties.
Yeah.
I forgot the exact properties of red kelp.
What do they roll sushi and seaweed?
Yeah, seaweed.
Nori.
It's a special. It's a. Yeah, nori. It's a special
Nori?
type of seaweed. It's. Yeah.
And they take and grind it, and then they lay it in sheets, and it dries like that to make those seaweed sheets. But it's just about a foot long.
Seaweed paper.
Really thin, kind of weird.
Make sushi.
Yeah.
These are
What's up?
The column on the left is the specific species that we buy to put in our gardens.
Okay.
But that's only one of 1,800 brown kelps around the world. The next one is the one you find in the Pacific Ocean, the Lemonera digitata or digitata. can't. Anyway, now you move over. Now you find a couple reds, and then is the green, and you can see that from a commercial value, there isn't much there.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at the profile of the brown kelp on the far left, you'll see by comparison there isn't much of one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I got a question. So, has anyone ever seen like algae being used as biofuel or something? Like they've learned that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Down in Arizona, there's a big research center.
It looks pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I think I found a little video on it.
All sorts of uses for algae.
Oh, for sure, I can see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was a startup. There's a startup not too far away from here. The guy he would use duckweed in farmers' ponds to eat up all the fertilizer runoff, and he would take the duckweed, grow it in the retention ponds, and then turn the duckweed into feed to feed livestock. So the guy, he was growing the duckweed in all these ponds, and pulling up all the ag runoff, and then use that as feed. I talked to the guy like 4 or 5 years ago. I just haven't kept in touch with him at all. I don't know how the business is doing.
Yeah, transfer for the closed loop system ish.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a real neat little business startup. He didn't own the land. He literally used the retention ponds and managed the retention ponds for the farmer, so the farmer wouldn't have to manage the retention ponds. He would pull all the heavy metals and everything out of there, and if it's like a really toxic pond, he would just you ditch the duckweed. But if it wasn't like a really toxic pond, if it was just like high in fertilizer or whatever, or high in like a bacteria, the duckweed would like get rid of that. And then depending on the testing, he could then turn around and sell the duckweed as a feed back to the farmer.
You could do that with cannabis too, like a toxic field, grow it, and then it would absorb all the bullshit in the soil. I wouldn't smoke it though.
Oh, this actually describes how they break the algae down. If anyone, I'll put this in chat if anyone wants to watch it. It's Energy 101 algae fuel. It's pretty fucking interesting.
I've heard about it. I just never really looked into it.
I just think it's cool what they find, like all these different species of mycelium and other algae and other things that are beneficial to an extent that if we found it sooner, it might have could have helped prevent some of like the trash flow and stuff.
Well, even looking under a microscope, like you'll see some stuff that no one has a name for it yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so much shit out there. We're just still discovering.
When you really start diving deep into stuff like that, you'll find out a lot of this stuff we've already known. It's just that the big corporate interests blocked it or stopped it or make sure it didn't go public. Like hemp seed as an alternative to fossil fuels was known for decades upon decades upon decades. It's just that major companies said, "Oh hell no, fuck that," and make sure that it was kiboshed.
Stone Root says cattails make more ethanol than corn.
Oh, that I didn't know. That I did not know.
Sure, you get more protein in a worm than an egg. I mean,
well,
why do you think all these other cultures eat bugs?
That's what I'm saying. You get more protein in bugs than most of the fucking the protein that we eat from animals and stuff.
Shit, you go to an Asian culture, you're eating like they have like their markets. You can bugs on sticks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
no, I just the big thing I know about the big thing I know about cattails is that the pollen is very useful. It's like you can buy the pollen in the cattail pollen in the not just the culinary world, but in other industries. It's very useful as a high protein source.
If I'm looking for like a wetland, I look for cattails. I'm like, okay, there's plenty of water around here.
Mm-hmm.
Are we about the cattail that looks like a hot dog on a stick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you crack it open.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they get real furry. You can use it almost like as a cotton.
It's almost a natural down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people filling coats with it and stuff to survive. It's like cotton almost.
I'm being attacked by my cat.
Give us some catnip.
Smoke one more bowl. We've been going for a little bit, an hour and 20. Everyone smoke one more.
All right, I'm gonna pack me another bowl.
I see a bunch of cool people. I see Fourplan, Stone Root, Lars, Diggy. CTC's been chilling with us the whole time. Stone Root's been chilling with us.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Jabby, Crymore. I seen you sneak in. Did I miss anyone? Emery, I seen you sneak in. Cheers, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I can't wait for Charlie to go organic COOT.
Oh, he's going organic? That's what's up. Come over to the good side looking ass stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been 20, 30 years since I've done an organic grow. I've been around there. Mid-90s.
Wow.
But everything's changed. Techniques, everything's changed.
Are we still live?
Easy ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just easy ways. And making the super soils like I used to make. Basically the way I did it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I
can't wait. Get rid of my meters. Can't get rid of all my friggin' up and down, all my bottled nukes. I can't wait to. Yeah, I'm getting everything in the next couple of days. We'll take it right up to Danvers. Get 55 pounds of barley waiting for me. And I was asking the question the night if the roast on the barley makes a difference. Like a darker roast, like a chocolate roast, there's less enzymes in them, right? Because they're cooking it longer.
Right. It basically cooks out all the enzymes.
It's almost a burn to it.
Yeah. It's like coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Darker the roast, less caffeine there is.
You want what you're looking for in a barley, you want a 2-row barley. It's like here I get Maris Otters, which is the popular brewing barley 2-row. 6-row is like as COOT informed me earlier, it's not worth the extra money for 6-row because we're not looking for what 6-row gives us. So simple Maris Otters 2-row.
That's old school.
55 pounds for 67 or 68 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Already ordered it. It's in Danvers. I just got to go get it.
Charlie, that's a deal and a half in this economy. That's it. Like it's a 55 pound. That's a 25 kilo. That's an international pack. Mm-hmm. And wow, boy, it's a lot less where you are. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a good price. I mean, I think it's better than what I'm paying for bottled nukes, obviously. But I'm trying to go.
That's a really good price.
55 pounds will last you
a couple of years. What you want to do is put it in plastic tubs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you get at Home Depot paint buckets with a lid.
Right.
And if you'll do that and store it in a cool, dry place, the usual, you can get 4.5 to 5 years.
They make these things called Gamma Volts too that are really good.
Yeah, I was ready to go there. The Gamma lid. You want
Right.
get yourself a
Yep.
gamma lid.
I know what
You'll
you're talking about.
fucking love it.
Talking about storing
Yeah.
soil or whatever.
Amendments,
grain.
yeah. If you're buying the enemy amendment in 50-pound bags, you're gonna need somewhere to store it.
Mm-hmm. This bad boy right here.
$1.20 a pound.
I need something. Yeah.
This is a gamma. For those that don't know, this is a gamma lid.
Oh yeah, those are cool. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those over there. Usually human food grade.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get your.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Had a great show. We're gonna be on Discord still, so if you know, come hang out on Discord. We're gonna be still talking. Thank you for joining us, everyone, for in the stream. Coot, thank you for being here. D, High Desert, Charlie, Delman, Drake, G, Steelbird, Ned, Low Cut, Kush, T.O. Thank you all for being here. Like I said, come hang out on Discord.